So, hi, hello, welcome, guys. And today's topic is quite important for all the Flutter developers because building applications is nowadays quite easy because you all are friendly with Cursor, Windsurf, Cloud Code. Um, those IDEs now just need a prompt to build an application. But performance is still need to be managed by an developer. Okay, so the AI gets toxic after a 50% of context consumption. I have observed such mistakes that AI causes when it consumes 50 to 60% of context of the application. So from that point, I need a good developer. I feel a good developer should be sitting in front of that AI to optimize the application's performance, so that and application should be bugs free. Like, those things should not happen that one device is supporting application, another device is not. Such things should not happen, and some bugs which we cannot see in the emulator, but those kind of bugs were be seen in the release mode when we use that apk in our real device after running a command flutter build apk release. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So the end point is, your application should be having a good performance in the sense every frame should be 60 fps, even though you are loading any kind of heavy data from the internet, or you might be running a tf lite in your application, like that local ml model, or even you are loading your ml data from your server or anywhere. So performance and speed is most important. If performance is bad, then that application is going to crash very soon. Okay, so to avoid such kind of crashes, you need to understand the rendering pipeline. So from code to screen, what all which pipeline is being used, we'll get to it and slowly. So let's get to the second slide. That is, there will be a three tree architecture. So if you're a beginner, you might have heard about widget tree, which is immutable configuration and which is written by us. Okay, where we used to define scaffold, inside it app bar, inside that, and we'll have an body. Inside that body we'll be having custom scroll view or single child scroll view, list view, grid view, anything whichever we are using according to our application. That is widget tree. Let's keep it apart. Okay, then is elementary. Okay, elementary is the life cycle manager where the build context comes in picture. So if someone asks you which tree is having build context, so you should not answer widget tree. Widget tree is having only widgets, so you might see that build context in widget tree in your IDE, but that is not a correct answer. That's just a visual representation of IDEs, but actually elementary consists build context. Okay, got it. Then next comes a render object tree, which is the final phase, final ending pipeline where constraints, rasterization, all these things comes in picture. So let's get one by one. First of all, what is complete pipeline, how things work one by one. So I'll just written set state over here because you beginners, generally, even big developers, experienced developers, big developer I mean experienced developers, use set state in small things like updating a number. So such somewhere we used to use set state application, so I just mentioned that set state. But generally we used to start with build method generally calls up engine and widget start building. Then that build method is used to mark some widgets as dirty. If you are calling if you are, let's say, if you are doing heavy calculation inside your build method, so that will be marked as a dirty build. So such kind of things will be happen in the build stage. Then comes layout, where constraints, parent positioning, all those things comes in picture. Means a layout will be setted, that is nothing but UX. Okay, Then comes painting, drawing the command, it means that render draws it, okay, means you will see colors, all those stuff, okay. Then comes composite, that is GPU rasterizes layers to the screen. Rasterization is the final step of the pipeline, okay. So entire rendering pipelines ends with rasterization, where that vector image converts in such a way you will be that will be visible to your eyes, okay. Let's go to the next phase 1, where build function is called, where widget converts into an element which you used to see on the screen. That creates a new widget instance which is immutable. Then creates an elementary compares new versus old, means whenever you calls a build widget, Flutter is intentionally coded in such a way that developer should have minimal things to manage the performance. So what engine does is, whenever a build is called, there will be some internal cache or something will be there, where that engine is going to compare old build versus new build. If there is any difference, it is going to update the widget. If there is no difference, then it is going to old one, or it is going to use old one only. That's what elementary does. That is what elementary does. Elementary used to compare the new versus gold, if new versus old, okay. If there is same type, it uses this, it reuses the same element, else it is going to update it, okay. So that's why developer and even your mentor used to suggest you must use constant if you are not using, if that is a constant value, like constant text Muhammad Hussein, constant text enter your name. That's why we used to use constant there. If your style is constant, like if there is some difference in style, if you're using theme dot of context dot text style dot body large body medium, then you should not mention there constant, because that body large is nothing but a variable, okay. Variable in the sense that whose value is going to change device to device, font size to font size. So that's why there you will not mention const, okay. So because that is not a constant, it's going to change, it is variable. Constant widgets will not update anymore. That consistent constant value, like a string, like a constant number. So mention constant wherever it is necessary. So in that with the simple constant, widget skips entire subtree rebuild. So that's how your application performance increases, okay. Got it? Great. So next phase 2, that is layout, where constraints down, size up, all those things will to handles, like parent passes that build context to the child, then child calculates the size within the constraints, then parent positions the child, okay. This is what happens when you when the layout starts, okay. The golden rule is constraints are less, size is more, parent sets the positions, okay. Constraint, size, parent sets the position. All these things you need to remember in your backend. So whenever you are coding, so you need to remember how build context passes to child, and how child calculates the size with the constraints. So at the end, you should not be storing or any variable in your build method, okay. Build method should be only having your widgets and all those stuff, okay. You should not be using that variables or something else in that build method, okay. Then comes paint, that is a recording command, records drawing commands. It is not immediate, it's slow. Then layer types, picture, transform, opacity, clip, all these things will be used there. And send to GPU for rasterization, means GPU graphic processing unit is used to convert that vector, so that way we'll see that screen on our mobile screen, okay, on our screen, okay. Then better is we'll see that page on our screen, okay. Got it? Then next go to the phase 4, that is composition of, means that is nothing but the part of GPU. Layers rasterized into textures, then textures composites together, final image to screen buffer, okay. So the crisp is that only whatever you write code, okay, whatever elementary finalizes to be seen on the screen, that goes to the end of the pipeline, last end of the pipeline, that is the rasterization, where GPU comes in picture. All those things work together to display the page on your screen. So animation can be free if only transform layer changes. Okay, so that's how things works. Okay, I hope you got the composition of the GPU. What it does is layers rasterized into textures, then textures composites together, then final image to the screen buffer. Okay, then animations can be free if only transforms layer change. Got it? Then let's go to the eighth slide, that is practical optimization techniques. What all optimization techniques we can use? Use the Radiant boundary to isolate painting to prevent parent repaints. Okay, a repaint boundary is where if let's say you are using an circular progress indicator, or else you have seen that Instagram's recording screen, whenever you start recording reel on your camera, on your application, you'll see an progress bar indicator that used to cover up as the time goes, as the video recording continues. So that in that ways the widget is updating every second, every millisecond, microsecond, that widget is updating, that color is painting, means that rasterization is continuously happening. It is repainting entire stuff. That way you in there you need to use repaint boundary widget. It's simple widget there. So if you just google about repaint boundary, you will get stuff about that. Then keys is very important. As you know, whenever you start any course or whenever you ask LLMs about Flutter, every LLM used to explain you about keys, which is very important. Gives widget stable identity for element reuse. Okay, in your elementary, keys is very important. In every elementary or in a widget tree, keys plays a very important role. Even in your form is having separate key, global keys will be there, widgets keys will be there, and there will be elementaries specific keys will be there, which used by Flutter's Impeller or Skia engine. Okay, got it? Then constant used to skip the entire widget subtree rebuild, which is very important. These five keywords, 5 words, a single word. Okay, it's quite important const to use. Then animated builder child parameter, which caches expensive widget. So whenever you are using animation in your application, you must use dev tools. Okay, for animation you must be using dev tools. See which all dirty widgets were building. You will see the frame rates. If your animated builder is consuming maximum space, it means 18-20 frames per second speed is there with your animation, then there is no use of having that animation in your application. You must see a better way to increase the frame rate. Okay, then next let's go to the debugging of rendering issues. Performance overlays like green bars should be less than 16 frames per second. Okay, if it is equal to 60 frames per second, it will be quite bad. So you must go down 16 fps. Okay, then dev tools is most important, as I told you. Then you must be using print. Then you must not be using print in your build method. There's a better logging method like developer.log. You'll be using that developer library. So for developer.log, then again I have written twice about dev tools. You must be use dev tools. You must handy with the dev tools. Honestly, I recently mastered dev tools. Okay, earlier I was also not aware about dev tools very much. Then I came across a YouTube video of Flutter. I just gone through that without skipping a single second of that video. Then I came to know importance of that dev tools. After that, I'm very much handy with the dev tools. If you want a complete tutorial on dev tools, you must drop a comment with your specific language if you want me to continue with the English or Hindi about the dev tools. Okay, don't forget to comment about it. Then very much important point I want to tell at this point is that if you're using, okay, if you think having a library in your popspec.yaml will take much size. Okay, there is a two scenario. If you install an library in your Flutter, and if you're not using that, then it is not going to take a single KB of space in your mobile device. Okay, if you have a library, if you use even a single part of that library, then it is going to take space. Okay, this is a myth many Flutter developer used to have. If I am importing a Flutter library and not using it, then it is going to consume space. Okay, just remember it. Then the aha moment, when you call set state widget tree rebuild, means cheap just dart objects, then element tree reused wherever possible, medium cost, then rendering object tree only updated if needed, it is expensive. Okay, rendering object tree is expensive. Then this is why Flutter is fast despite of rebuilding everything. Okay, so these three trees makes Flutter itself faster. And if we understand how these trees are working in behind the scenes, then we master that speed also. Okay. Then let's go to the key takeaways, whichever I want you to just pause over here, read out by yourself, and let's finish it out. It's around 16 minutes of the video. If you're till end, then great, you might be taking some good knowledge out of this video. I want you to share summary of this video in the description, so that other students will not take this much of time, and just by reading your comment they'll come to know what is there in the video, in this video. Okay, thank you so much. We'll meet in the next video. Okay, bye.